Good afternoon. My name is Carolyn Motley and I'm with the Cannon County Chamber of Commerce, and we want to welcome you to the January edition of the Cannon Chamber Connection, which is made possible by DTC Cable TV, Channel 3, and if you don't have that, you should. And our show today is hosted by me and my partner in crime,
Connie Rixby. So glad to have you. A happy new year. 2014 is here.
Yes, it is, and it came in with a bang.
It did. A frozen bang.
A frozen bang. It's been awful.
We've had terrible weather.
It is. It's been
below
too cold.
zero. I think we were colder than Alaska.
Well, yeah. For me, it can get down to 20, and I'm colder than Alaska.
But we've had lots of ice. Schools have been closed. I know some roads problems and things, but we made it in to do our show for January.
We did. And you know what? In Cannon County, we did have snow, and of course, we have Short Mountain. And so there's a lot of areas, as beautiful as it is, it's hard to get up and down sometimes. Short Mountain.
There's some places in Cannon County the sun doesn't shine.
Ever.
Once they get ice, it may be ice to March.
You're right, but you go to Murfreesboro. I had to go down there yesterday, and I thought it's like an imaginary line. You've got snow, not a lot of snow, but you've got snow, and then all of a sudden you don't have anything.
Nothing.
It's just cold.
Yeah, just cold. Well, we were fortunate.
But I can handle the snow better than I can the ice and the cold.
I think everybody can. We have a lot of seniors here at the center that come in and they're talking about living in Michigan and all these places.
Well, I lived in Colorado.
They were like, we can get around in snow, but the ice is a different story. So
you don't. And I didn't have to come off any mountains or anything. I was at the bottom. But anyway, it's supposed to be up into the 50s and 60s, which will feel tropical by the time it gets here after what we've just been through. And I'm hoping that was a one-shot thing. I'm hoping we don't have those again.
Well, you know, March is the best time for that type of weather for us.
No, I didn't know that.
Your first tidbit of information of the day, Carolyn. I won't bring you down. That was it. It's over with, Carolyn.
My tulips are blooming by March.
It's over with. It won't happen anymore.
Thank you.
Okay. You feel better now?
I do. I do. And we do have some guests with us today. I'm sure Dr. Coombs has been on our show before, and he is our local chiropractor, or one of them. You can go to Dr. Coombs for various reasons. Believe me, you can. And he usually can help with most of them. But now you're involved with a whole new scenario, and of course, everybody's New Year's resolutions
Perfect time for this.
are dealing usually with losing weight and
Perfect time
exercising.
for this interview. Not speaking of Short Mountain, I had to come off that mountain today, come in for this interview. That's where my home is, and they closed the road. I noticed after I went by. So it's been icy.
You didn't plow it for them or anything.
I didn't. But yeah, I've been exposed to this new program. I was a chiropractor. I've been practicing for about 35 years now, and over the years, well, my practice has grown, not so much in number of people, but in the size of people. We used to have, it was, obesity rates have just skyrocketed. They've gone up to over 30%, over a third of the U.S. population is now considered obese. And so, and along with that comes all these other health problems. There's diabetes is a big one, heart disease, stroke, different forms of cancer can be caused by obesity. So it's a serious health problem in our country, and it's been getting worse and worse over the years. As over the last 35 years, I can attest to that.
It's not a certain age group, is it? It starts from young to old.
Even children having diabetes.
And I say it affects the joints in the back and everything else too.
Well, that too, the weight-bearing, arthritis type things, and Dr. Helton, who is kind of like in this program, and he introduced Geraldine to it, who I found out about this program through Geraldine. But Dr. Helton was scheduled to have knee surgery before he lost his weight, and then he canceled it because he didn't have to have the joint. He didn't have the joint pain he had before. And so, yeah, Geraldine is a prime example. She had been coming to our office. She works at my office as a therapist, and she would have, she was a bit overweight, and she was having headaches pretty regularly and other health issues. And gradually, since last spring, she started this program, and I'd noticed she'd keep looking smaller as she'd come in week after week, and then eventually, and she wasn't getting her headaches anymore, and her energy level just skyrocketed. And so she said, "You got to learn about this program." See, and she had talked about her husband Billy, who I think Arno should say something about that in a minute. But she got him on the program too, and he made some incredible health advances that I think Arno could share a little more about that in a minute. But once I found out about the program through through Geraldine, very similar name.
So close.
Then I started being interested in finding out people can really not only lose weight, but get healthier and take charge of their life again. And that's what got me interested in this Take Shape for Life program.
What is the name? Okay, I think you just answered mine.
Take Shape for Life. And it's a program that has 3 phases, basically. One is there's a book from Dr. Anderson wrote that you learn how to be healthy for the rest of your life, not just for a short-term weight loss program. And then there's a health coach that comes with the program. I'd be a health coach, or any multiple people in the program are health coaches that can help you with suggestions, and if you have a problem, they can answer it, and it comes free with the program. And then the third part of the program is the meals that they do. There's a 5-in-1 program where you have 5 prepackaged meals and you make your own once a day or buy it out, lean and green. So that's basically the program, and it's designed for people to get healthier for their life and not just for a short-term weight loss where they can get better.
Do you have to take these prepackaged foods for your life? I mean, do you have to order them?
That's a good question, but no. Well, there's you go through the first phase is where you do use these packaged foods to help you start burning fat off your body to use your calories. So it's a low-fat diet, but it's also has some oils in it to help you absorb your fat-soluble vitamins. But anyway, you use that, you get into fat burning, and you start getting down to your desired weight. And once you hit that, then you go into what they call a transition phase. In the transition phase, you move into eating just balanced meals, small meals throughout the day, just like the 5-in-1 program where you eat 6 meals a day.
Mm-hmm.
It's a training process. You learn how to eat or design your portion controls and regular food, so your blood sugar levels stay even and you don't get woozy or sick or dizzy.
And I think the important thing about that is having, instead of breakfast, lunch, and dinner, it is the in-between, kind of maintaining that constant, having something for the body to work with, and then stopping at a period of time and having that time to rest, the body to rest for the evening or the nighttime period till the next day.
Yeah, timing is everything. And then we also encourage a lot of water, drinking of water, and a lot of our calories come from these drinks that we buy, and they're hidden calories. You don't think you're consuming much because it's just a drink, but it can be loaded with calories that are hard on the blood sugar and cause a lot of problems with diabetes. So that's basically the program, but I think we ought to ask Arno how he got interested.
This is not Arno. I've lived by Arno for many years, and this is not Arno. We've lived on the same road for, I guess, all my life, and you don't look the same, Arno.
Well, I don't feel the same.
Well, that's good.
I feel a whole lot better.
Well, that's good.
But you were having health issues too.
Oh, yes,
were you?
I was.
And this is Arno Smithson.
How I got started on the program, of course, I was to the point that I was miserable with myself because I was way overweight. My sugar was getting out of control. My blood pressure was going up constantly, and every time I'd go back to the doctor, my diabetic doctor especially, you know, he says, Arna, you have got to get control of your weight. Your weight is going to really get you in some serious trouble. My sugar at that time was running averaging 188, and of course I was on insulin. Diabetic. I was on the insulin. I was on blood pressure medicine. I was on cholesterol medicine, and I was on 3 different. I call them sugar, you know, for the sugar. Mm-hmm. And since I've been on the diet now, I started Take Shape for Life 6 months ago, and I've dropped 75 pounds.
Wow.
And I'm off of the insulin. I'm off of the high blood pressure. I'm off of the cholesterol, and I'm off of 2 of the diabetic pills that I were taking. I'm only taking 1 metformin at night and 1 of the morning, and my sugar average now is averaging 114. And I went back to the doctor the other day, and he says, Arna, your blood work is just incredible. I just cannot believe, you know how your blood sugar and everything is going. He said, I don't know what you're doing, but keep doing it. And, you know, of course, a couple of months ago, or maybe, no, it was 3 months ago, I went, and he wanted to know how I lost this much weight, and we told him about the program of Take Shape for Life, you know, and explained to him how it worked. And he said, well, next time you come back, I'm going to see if it's still running the same, you know. And of course, we went back, and he just couldn't get over it.
Just gets better and better.
It just gets better and better.
I couldn't either. When I heard about situations like Arna's and Billy, who I think you have a story about him, but
Mm-hmm.
I'd never heard people getting off insulin. Once they were on it, I thought that's it.
That's
They're
it.
on it for the rest of their life. And
Well, see what, Billy, we were down at the Art Center one night to one of the programs, and Billy used to be my neighbor. And, you know, Billy was a pretty good sized guy. And he came in, and I punched my wife, and I said, is that Billy Moulder? And she said, yeah. And I said, golly, he has really lost the weight. And, you know, I motioned for Billy to come over. And I said, Billy, how in the world did you lose this weight? And he said, well, Take Shape for Life, the MetaFast program, you know. And I said, well, is the food good? He said, it's great. And I said, well, boy, we really need to get on that program. And he said, well, we're going to have a meeting in Murfreesboro, and Tina needs to come down. And I think Tina had talked to Geraldine some about it, you know. And so we decided, you know, and I knew that I had to do something because, and Tina was overweight too, and I was just
You didn't tell her that, did you? Good.
So we went down and signed up, you know, and I wrote down, they kind of give you a little quiz, you know, how much weight you'd like to lose, you know. And I said, well, if I could lose 50 pounds, I'd just be tickled to death, you know. But I thought, I won't be able to do it because I like to eat too good.
No faith.
So I wrote 50 pounds down, and, you know, I mean, it just started coming off like that. And the first week that I was on it, I mean, my sugar just dropped bad. And I was so weak, I couldn't hardly walk from the garage to the house, you know. And I told my wife, I said, Tina said, I'm not going to be able to be on this program because I am so weak, I just can't go. So she called Dr. Helton and talked to him, and he suggested that I leave off my blood pressure medicine, and I was taking like 35 units of my insulin, and he said, drop it down. So I dropped it down. That helped. So I just kept dropping it down. Within a month, I wasn't taking any insulin at all, and I hadn't took any since. And I've got more energy.
That was before you lost all your weight.
Oh, yes.
That was right.
Way
right
before I lost
It's
it.
incredible, though, how much weight does affect that.
Oh, it
So-
does, yeah.
I'm going to interrupt you here because we have a picture. Now, you started on this in July.
Mm-hmm.
And this, I don't know if you can get this, Tom, but these are not retouched. These are the actual thing.
No Photoshop here.
No Photoshop. The first time I had seen Arna after he had dropped a lot of his weight was at a ball game, and my first impression was Arna's sick and he's got something bad wrong.
Yeah.
Because usually people that lose that much weight there is a reason. They either have a health problem or something. But actually, in your case, this was solving your health problems,
Oh, yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And it is amazing. We'd like for you to see him in his bikini when he goes to the beach, and his Speedo, but I don't think that's
that'll
gonna happen.
You don't think that's what's gonna happen even if you lose the weight.
Yeah, but it's a great program, and me and Tina started the program the same time, and she has lost 38.5 pounds.
Now, it is easier for the men, to me,
is,
it
yeah.
really is for men to lose weight. My husband and I both have dieted in the past, and I'm always amazed. We may be eating the exact same things, but it comes off of him so much faster.
Yeah, it does, and it has for us too. But at our house, just about every week, I get to see a new fashion show because Tina's finding stuff now that she could wear that she couldn't wear. And you know, that helps me because what she would spend on clothes, I get to go buy new clothes. Because I've dropped from a 44 to a 36.
Wow.
Well, let me ask you this. Usually people that go on diets like this, and a lot of this may be psychological because they think, I am so hungry. Have you ever felt like going over and taking a bite out of the neighbor's cow or anything because you were so...
Well, I hadn't got to that point yet, but yes, occasionally and you know, they'll tell you if you're really craving something really bad, just get a small bite of whatever it is that you're really craving. And you know, of course, I love hamburgers, and I have not eaten a hamburger since I've been on this diet.
Now, see, that would be easy for me
Yeah.
because I'm not crazy about
Yeah,
hamburgers.
but like a fruit cake or a cake or something like that, you know, I have, you know, snitched a little bit, but you know, hey, and I have found that if you put a pound or two on, and occasionally you'll do that, but if you get right back on the program, it just comes right back off.
Now, are you exercising along with this?
Since it's been about maybe 3 weeks ago, I started walking on the treadmill, and I'm spending about 30 to 35 minutes a day on the treadmill.
Because usually it's a combination of both.
Well, it's true. It usually is, and that's what's surprising about this program is most people, especially when they first start losing weight, they suggest don't exercise much because you're changing the way your body metabolism works, and they just start going to fat burning, and the chemistry of your body works where you're gonna not feel a whole lot of energy the first 2-3 weeks, and then gradually you want to increase some exercise and activity. But Arnold lost all his before he started this program, pretty much of exercise. So it's fascinating. This will work before you start the exercise program.
We have a lot of folks that talk about, you know, when they do have this kind of weight that, you know, it's hard to start exercising. You know, they feel like they can only do 5 minutes or 3 minutes, so they feel like that's not even worth doing anything at all. So it is kind of amazing that you lost all of it, and then you decided, okay, now I'm going to exercise, and I'm
You
sure
have to
that is
build
going
up
to
that
boost
muscle.
that up.
Yeah.
It boosts this program, I'm assuming.
Yeah, what we've got to work on now, where we've got a little flabby underarm, we've got to get it tightened
Well,
up.
I'll tell you about a program here in a few minutes that we have had a lot of success here, and I know for a fact that you hit the benchmark to be able to be in that program. So, but it is amazing. I know I went just before Christmas and sat through the program because I wanted to go and hear a little bit about it because I had so many of my seniors asking me about it. Have you heard? Have you seen Arna? Have you seen several folks around? And so I did a little investigation, you know, myself, just going and looking at the program. I'm very interested in the program myself because, one, for me, it is one, seeing the results, and that it's very healthy. I see that it's very healthy. You get to eat the lean and green, which can be anywhere. It doesn't have to be you could go out to eat. There's places that you can actually go out to eat. Do y'all get to go to restaurants that you still like?
We eat out as much now as we've ever eaten. You know, you just have, when you go, and just about every restaurant that you go to has got what you call a lean and green. You know, of course, you can buy a small steak, you can buy salmon, or any of those things, and get your salad with it, or you can get broccoli or green beans with it. So you're getting the same thing at the restaurant as you would at home. Actually, you'll wind up getting a little bit more at the restaurant than you do at home. And I mean, you know, Cracker Barrel has a good one. Old Charlie's has got one. Well, any of them that you go to, except for the Steak and Shake and places like that.
You try to stay away from Steak and Shake.
I have trained my car that when I get to it, you go this way instead of this way. But any of the restaurants that you go to, you can, but you gotta, you know, look at the menu close, and most of them have a program that you can, you know, cut back and get what you call your lean and green. And the food on the MetaFast program, or Take Shape of Life, all of their soups or puddings, the bars, and I've only found one product in the whole thing that I didn't particularly like. Now my wife liked it, but
It was just you.
Instant Oats, it's me. I didn't like that, but all the rest of it, I have no problem with it at all. It's good, and it's filling. You know, think about it, you're eating 5 of those meals a day, and you're keeping yourself, you know, you don't get to think about, boy, I'm hungry, what am I gonna have for lunch, you know, because you're eating every 2 hours, and you know, you don't have a hunger feeling, you know, like you do if you just eat 3 meals a day. So it's been great for me, and the blood work, and look at the medication that I'm off. You know, people talk about
Well, that saves you.
How much money that
how much
saves?
money does it cost you, you know? It's not really that expensive, and I think Tina kind of put a pencil to it, what we were buying in canned goods to have a meals at the house. And you know, most of the people that sit down and are the lady that does the cooking, you wind up, you're scraping stuff out, throwing it away. With this program right here, I promise you, you will not throw anything away.
You
eat
may
it all.
eat the can.
And if you go to the grocery store and buy your product, you know, and if you're throwing it away, actually this is cheaper in the long run, and it's easier if you got, like me and Tina, both of us are on it. And it helps Tina too, because she don't have to cook me a meal and her a meal. We're both on it. We'll go in and pick out what we want, and we fix it and
Is
go
it
for
mail order? Do they send it
Yep,
to you
they-
or
and
deliver
it's
it?
shipped to you free.
Well,
So it's a great program. If anybody wants to get their weight down and get off of the medications, this would be a way to do it.
but you still gotta have some willpower.
Oh, you
to
gotta
do
have
this.
the willpower.
You do,
Yeah, but-
because it's breaking old
Well,
habits.
It's breaking old habits, and it can be done, and you have this health coach that you get with the program, and they can talk you through it and tell you when you need to ask you questions. Are you getting your meal spaced properly? You getting enough sleep, enough water? And so they can coach you through that. And the first few days are the hardest, and after that, your body gets accustomed to it and works pretty well. But one thing before this show ends, how long is the program?
Keep going, we got time.
we have to, I want to make a disclaimer, because as Arnis talked about, he went to his medical doctor and discussed his issues, so that you don't go into a program like this and just assume that you're just going to drop all your medications, because you got to monitor that carefully as you wean off. It can help a lot of people, but you just can't just drop it suddenly on your own. So you definitely have some medical advice while you're going through it.
I tell you what really made me feel probably better than anything getting off of the medication. I could tell when I got off the blood pressure medicine. You know, we're retired now, and I've got a lot of things I need to get done, you know. I'd go sit down in that chair, you know, my mind would say, go do it, but the old body just didn't want to get out of that chair, you know. But now,
Mine does that
hey,
quite
I tell you what, I've got more energy now than I've had. I'm getting back to the old Arnie. That's just
You
kind
may
of
go back into business.
Yeah,
I don't know, he's like in retirement a
yeah, I
bit.
love it.
One health rally, Arnie was over at the hospital, and I remember he come in and says, well, I cut down 10 trees today, or something. About 10 of them around the house.
Yeah, when you was telling that a while ago, you know, you don't overdo yourself, you know, and I just had so much energy. I had a lot of trees I need to cut down, and I think it was 8 trees down, trimmed them up, and I gained 2 pounds. I said, my goodness, I'm gonna sit down
It
and
was
not do
muscle,
nothing.
trust me, it was muscle.
You mean you didn't have a car to rebuild or anything?
Oh, that's what I'm doing now.
See, I can just see things flying.
Yeah.
Well, it has been amazing, and it's good to know that you're healthy and feeling better, and that it's worked for you. If you want to know more information about the program, do you have another health rally coming up?
We have the health rally. It's actually going to be here at the Senior Center where we're filming today on the 28th of January, 6 o'clock. And so Dr. Helton will be here to answer questions, and I'll be here too. And there will be people who want to learn about it can show up and find out things. And so everybody will be here. There'll be a group, and we'll have a little discussion and introduce people to the concepts that are in the program.
Well, that was one of the things. I went, like I said, I went to the one before Christmas, and you had folks like Arna and folks that we know here in the community that have actually done the program, and it was pretty amazing to sit there and listen to them tell their story. And
there
how the
have
program-
been several in the community, and you can just about pick them out.
You know,
If you knew them before, you can just about pick out the ones that have benefited from this. Of course, I go to the ball games, and so I'm thinking, wow, something's happened there.
Yeah, it works. It works.
And what is the name of the program again?
Take Shape for Life. Yeah. And you want to go through it with a health coach, because if you can try to do it on your own, but you need a lot of pointers and help along the way to really maintain and get over into that transition where you can just live that way the rest of your life.
Well, I think the health issues, you made a good point there, because there are some health issues you may have that, even though this is healthy for you, may not be the cure for those. So you probably, you do need to have a doctor that you can.
This program
Confirm.
also has a nurse's line, a doctor's line, a dietitian line. You can call up and get questions answered. If your health coach is not available, you can just call those numbers up. And
Well, I'm familiar with Dr. Helton since he's my husband's doctor, so.
yeah, there you go.
And I think that's a big thing about the program too. Dr. Helton is so well known here in the community and everything, and he actually has been a participant. I mean, amazing transformation from him before and after. And all of his health issues too, and I know about the surgery and the knee surgery and things like that, but I think he became a believer of the program too, so.
He certainly tested it out himself.
I think he's lost 50 pounds,
Yeah.
so he's done very well with it too.
I think he said he's starting to jog or run again. He hadn't been able to do that because of his knee.
Yeah.
It's good.
There's nothing bad I can say. I mean, really, when you look at this and when you hear about it, there isn't, other than a little willpower and actually getting in there and say, I really want to do this, and I'm going to do whatever it takes, just like with Arna, you don't even have to dread the exercising. He lost all his weight before he decided to do that, because he wanted that muscled up body. That's what it was.
That's what it is.
I gotta
The
get
car
Tom.
show next year.
Yeah, go to the car show.
You won't need any women walking around. You can just show your own body.
Just lean up and
Wait a second.
Well, we have so much enjoyed both of you being here, and Arna, I just can't say enough about, I've seen this, It's not like it's something you're being told that happened. I have seen it with my own eyes, and it's amazing. So if you're having health problems, especially with diabetes,
And the doctor has said, you need to do something, you need to do
to
something.
lose that weight, this may be something you want to look into.
Well, one reason that I really, I seen what was happening to my brother, he's on dialysis now and on a walker, and he can't get out, and then Joe, he's like me, he likes to go to the car shows and get outside and do all this stuff, and he's not able to do any of that. And I told Tina, I said, if I don't do something to help myself, I'm gonna be in the same shape. And you have to say, okay, do I want my health or do I want to be sick? you know.
Yeah.
So I decided I want to be well.
And you know, there's no quick cure for this. Everybody wants something that, I worked at the drugstore for years, and good heavens, they sent things there where if you took this pill, it melted away overnight and all of this kind of stuff. And I thought, there is no miracle pill. You know, it's amazing how much money is spent on diet, these things that are supposed to do it for you, and there isn't. I didn't see as big a difference in any of them as I have with you.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I mean, it really is. And all this time I was feeling sorry for you because I thought you were sick. So.
Actually, he's
But
getting well.
now his body is all kind of caught up with each other, so he doesn't look sick. He does. Dr. Coombs, we've touched on the diet part of this, and I told someone for you to be a spokesperson for this type, I have a lot of faith in you, and I thought he wouldn't tell you something that wasn't on the up and up. Now, don't prove me. But I do, I have, because even with the aches and pains that you have over, and especially as you get older, Dr. Coombs, I really think can fix just about anything. I really do, and you do believe in the vitamins. There are certain vitamins that you...
Yeah, fortunately, this program, they incorporate those in your foods that you buy,
okay,
prepackaged
good.
foods, so you can take some extra probiotics they recommend and some digestive enzymes, but for the most part, the vitamins and minerals are incorporated into the products as you eat them throughout the day.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
Because the less medicine, the better. I mean, I really feel that.
Less pills, you mean? Vitamin pills as well as medicine pills,
Right.
you're saying? Yeah, I hear that. And yeah, if you can get most of us don't haven't eaten a balanced diet all our lives, so we don't get all our proper nutrition.
Well, you have a
anyway,
tendency
so-
to eat what you like.
Yeah, and so once you do get into a balanced diet, you don't need near as many vitamins or supplements to get along. I agree with you on that one.
Okay. Well, is there anything else that you'd all like to...
No, I don't have anything else. If anybody would like to call me and ask me about the program, I'll be glad to share my story with them and tell them what I've done.
Well, now,
'Cause I feel like
Arn
it's
is
a good
not
program.
going to lie to you either. He's not. He's done this with this program, and it's amazing.
Well, I
Okay.
know there's some things coming up here in the community other than health. Well, there's all kinds of health issues going on, but we've got, well, one thing, it might not make the air by the time we get on to air for TV, is that we have a trivia night coming up at the Senior Center this weekend. And this has been a fun thing for us to do. This is our 5th year, I believe, but we do 10 rounds, 10 questions. We have a barbecue dinner, and it's just a fun night to get out, and it's been some cold. Everybody needs something to go and do, so if we do happen to get on air, or wait for next year, we have trivia night coming up on the
You just
11th.
have that once a year.
We do it once a year, and it's just one big blowout night that we have, and
And that exercises your brain.
that does exercise your brain, and it's very important to exercise that part, that muscle. That muscle needs to be worked out quite a bit. But we also have the Historical Society meets at the Senior Center on a regular basis, and they've got some programs coming up. Their next program will be on Tuesday, January the 14th. It is here at the Senior Center, and they do a program, and it starts about 6:30. So.
You can eat. They have finger
Well,
foods.
you know, if you're going to have a meeting, you've got to be able to eat.
You gotta have food.
Maybe they'll have healthy food though. Since
Maybe
we've been
Arna
told-
will bring in some.
Farma will bring some of his healthy food there for the program. But this show, they're going to be doing a theme about people asking about bringing old photographs of family members, heirlooms, relics, anything like that.
It's a show and tell, and you can, and they want you to be able to, whatever you bring in, to tell the group about it, you know, and if it's a tall tale, that's okay. I mean, who's to know? Those people are gone now. But they do want you to bring things. Civil War things are always interesting. If you have a family member, something that was in the Civil War, and you have some relics from that, from those days, anything, just bring them in and talk about them. There may be an old plow down there at the barn that belonged to somebody a long time ago.
I will tell you, this is a pretty active group. There's quite a few
Yeah,
folks in this,
there
and they've
is.
had some very interesting speakers. Of course, there's so many people out there that are into that, finding out about your family and past and ancestry and just different types of things. But they do a really good job about tying it back to the community. And I think this is one of the programs that they've done in the past before, but they've had so many people that kind of do it on a regular basis. They're going to have this program.
I think this would be really interesting because it would be a variety. Not everybody's going to bring in the same relic.
Well, I'm sure they're not. And, the one thing about this is it could be family history, photograph,
Right.
or maybe something that they found, or they pretty much have heard that it's historic and they want to kind of know. And I'm sure there's some folks that'll be there at that meeting that could probably tell them a little bit more history
Oh,
about the
I'm sure.
different things. So-
Listen, you could bring Bill Smith and he could tell you about everybody, their grandkids, their great-grandkids, and their dogs' names. And he remembers them, he's right. I mean, we got people like that. We got Dude Northcutt, who Dude's gonna be 100 years old here in March.
I know, and Dude comes to the center on a regular basis, and he's always a wealth of information.
Yes.
Here at the center, and we tell folks, we have so many active people, so keeping active and staying active, that mental capacity is one
Right.
of those things that you don't want to lose. So.
No, you don't.
But the Historical Society, that's on January the 14th.
Right.
And, bring those things. If you've never been, this is your first time, they will be glad to see you.
Their membership is so, it's $5 a year. Now, I'm not sure what they do with this $5, but at this point, who cares? If you get to come to some meetings, I mean, that's a lot of people interested in the history of Cannon County. And even surrounding counties like DeKalb County and everything, they're all kind of intertwined at one point or another. So if there's someone out there that doesn't live in Cannon County that would like to come and hear this sounds like a fun meeting.
I
does.
think it'll be fun. And if you love music, which we all have some type of history and love music, January the 18th, the 64 Band, acclaimed Beatles review from Nashville, going to be performing Beatles' favorite. I'm sure you could probably pick out a few of your favorites. But this will be down at the Arts Center. It's at 7:30. I think Blue Porch is going to be opening for if you want to do dinner and then go for music and entertainment. But 64 Band.
This group has been here before and to a sellout crowd each time because that's what they want to do is they want to play the Beatles music and there's still such a group out there that are crazy about the Beatles. Myself, I like Elvis, but anyway, he's not coming. But these guys are really good, and it's worth your time. And you can call the Art Center at 563-2787 and make your reservations because you will need to for this one.
So if you love Beatles music, this is a place you need to be for on January the 18th. Now coming up, we have, the Art Center does a lot of things with a lot of children's shows and different things like that. And so I think tryouts for a couple of the plays have been going on.
They have.
And their next feature I call it the Children's Hour, but I went to several of these myself.
Oh, I know, adults go
Beauty and the Beast. So Junior. So.
And what it is it's theater for the students. And they have this throughout the year. They've got several shows that are oriented to this. These are daytime shows. And here about, let's see, it must have been October, November, they had the Peach one, the Giant Peach.
James and the Giant Peach.
Right. And we had busloads of kids constantly for a week. They come from all over for it, and you can do this.
This is a very good education. This is some of the first time that some of these students will ever be in a theater.
Right.
Experience that live art being performed on a stage. And so the Art Center has been known across the state of Tennessee and other places for being one of the best at doing this. So we goes out, a lot of students around Tennessee, the teachers find out about it. They need a good field trip to go to. They want to make it educational. This is actually a good opportunity for those folks to take that up. And they come in, it's like a revolving bus unit down there. I mean, the yellow buses are everywhere.
Oh, it was, and one comes right after another,
I know.
and so you've got these little children everywhere, but it's amazing how well they handle it. Me, I would just be there and kids would be everywhere, but they get them in there, get them seated, have the show, they have a big time. They really enjoy it, and you're right, there's some children that would never be exposed to plays or live theater.
And I think it's a good
Except for this.
opportunity for young people to see that there are other things. They may not be into sports or anything else, but this opens up another field for them
It
to be
does.
able to be interested in. And you can try out for these plays. I know that they've got other plays coming up throughout the year, and we have some very talented folks around
We do.
our area that come and are the actors.
MTSU
Yeah.
is a big, lots of students from MTSU that are going into different fields that come up and help with the shows and the plays that they put on.
You've got lighting, you've got sound, you've
Oh,
got
yeah,
costume.
music.
Yeah, you've got the whole realm, and if you have a student that is wanting to go into that field, well, why not get practical use in doing that and putting on shows and things that they are a wealth of interest.
Yeah, there is, and they have some great people that work at the Art Center that have done this for years, and they know exactly what they're doing, so.
Now, the next band though that's playing down there is the Mafia Jug Band, and
It
they're
will be a
amazing.
sellout too.
So if you want a ticket for this, you better go ahead, I'd almost advise you to stop watching for a second and go call because this will
But
be
come
some,
right
yeah,
back,
come right back and
because we're
watch us.
almost
But this
done
will be on February 21st. So, that's very close to Valentine's Day. So get your honey a ticket
Right.
and go down
If
and
you
watch
like
this.
picking and grinning and all that stuff, and this is a band you need to go see because
They
they're
are
really good.
very popular and a huge hit in this area. They've been here before, and so you know the name, the Mafia Jug Band. They're going to be there.
I think that's such a strange name, Mafia Jug Band. It
I
just
don't think
doesn't
so. I
fit
think it's a
together,
very
does it?
good. I think it's a very good title.
What were you
think
gonna say, Dr.
Oh,
Good?
yeah, the full name I think is Tennessee Mafia Jug.
Yes, it
Yeah.
is. It is.
they couldn't have this over in South Carolina or
No,
anywhere
no.
else. But go ahead and get your seats for that. Now, we at the Chamber have something coming up.
We do. On Thursday, the 16th, we'll have our Chamber of Commerce annual banquet. It will be at the Art Center. It begins at 6:30. It will be catered by the Blue Porch, and this year it's going to be in their hall, their new hall that they're fixing up right now. And actually, it's where the museum has been before, but now they are going to use that for other events. You'll be able to use that if you want to put on a wedding there. They're going to have, if you have giant meetings, even if you have small ones, you can rent that hall, and it's quite large. And of course, you have the Blue Porch right there, and Wanda can cater any amount. I have no doubt. I think she could cater the whole town of Woodbury if that's what it took. But she does a good job. So you might check into that if you have some type of meetings coming up. You can always call the Art Center and inquire about these. And also on this student theater, they have a brochure that lists all the programs they're having that are child related. And they can send that to you, and you can show it to, like she says, for field trips and everything. So be sure and call them. But the chamber members are all invited to this banquet. We will have several speakers, and we're trying to get people that live right here. They are chamber members, and we kind of want to know what are we looking at in 2014. So that's kind of the theme, because there are going to be some changes. Just like our stores on the square, we had 2 of them that caught fire and burnt. That space has already been cleaned up. It's been purchased, and as far as I know, the buildings are going to be rebuilt. And that will be great for our square, because we are to a point where we're having a lot of people that are buying and renting those buildings, and a lot of them are antique stores, which is fine, because if we need to be an antique destination, then so be it. A lot of people come in for that, and that brings in busloads and tours and people, and they go to other places in town. So, you know, if that's what we need to promote, then that's fine. Now, the plans for the new buildings, I'm not sure that, other than building a building, what's going to occupy those buildings just yet, a little bit ahead of time here. But I was just so happy to get it, that it's cleaned up already, you know.
It was amazing to see.
One day, it seemed like.
You know, as tragic as the fire was, you know, I was actually not in town when I got all the word and the pictures, and it was made the news and everything else. The quick work, the business around there got their businesses, you know, cleaned up and back open. The site there was cleaned, and all the, you know, things removed, and folks are already building. You know, you're seeing the 2x4s go back up, and people in there getting everything ready. It's really exciting that they thought enough, those business owners, you know, and forethought to go ahead and put businesses back on the community square there. And
Well,
we
that's
still
right.
don't have an empty place there, so.
That was right before our Christmas open house.
And I
you
was
know.
worried, I don't know about you, but I was a little worried, but we had one of the best and biggest
Yes, we
open
did.
houses. I think everybody felt like that with that they needed to come out and support the community and support those folks.
It not only did we have a fire 2 weeks before that, but then the day of, it decided it was going to rain all day. Now, you know, Santa's coming in at 5 o'clock, and I thought, well, I'm not sure how I'm going to get Santa in.
Oh,
So I had already called the city police, because, you know, we've had that event and it's been freezing cold. We still had crowds. They stayed in the stores, which wasn't a bad thing. But rain it's hard to motivate during rain. But, you know, it was just like Santa came in on a covered wagon pulled by mules at 5 o'clock, and it was kind of like everything just stopped until that was over. It stopped raining. It wasn't miserably cold.
No.
You know, we had a big crowd in town, lots of people for that, and the merchants were very happy with it. They really were, and I was real happy with it too.
So, you know, if you want to watch the progress of our community square kind of growing, come, you know, right through and stop at a couple of stores and check all the things out. And again, that's kind of what the chamber, you know, we're here to promote our community.
That's right.
And I think that Carolyn does an excellent job at that, at her job. And I know you have moved down to the Art Center. That's become your new home site. And I know that a lot of the things that go on there, we talk about those, but we do have a lot of things going on in the community. And just because it is winter, we still have a lot of things.
Yeah, things are starting to fire up right now.
And if you have something going on in the community that you want us to know about, you can give Carolyn a call. She's working on the calendar for the year, and it's always the best thing to be on her calendar, because one of the things you get talked about here on our program.
Well, that's
that we
right,
do-
and you might even be on here.
Yeah, might be a guest.
Yeah,
We love to have guests.
and if you're not, then we're going to talk about you anyway.
Not you,
No,
your
it's-
program.
It is. This is a great opportunity, and of course, again, we thank DTC for this opportunity to be able to come in and promote your event or your business or anything else. And another thing is, we have a website. It's a county website. It's canontn.com, and all of your events, your meetings, and everything will be on that calendar if you will just call the chamber at 563-2222 and let me know when they are.
And I think that's one of the big things about being a member of the chamber and participating in the community. This is a big benefit. There's not that many people that get the opportunity to actually get on, and thanks to DTC, this gets out to quite a few folks. I mean, I travel around and with my business, and I will hear folks talk about,
I do
that they've
too.
seen us on TV. And in fact, just not too long ago, they come down and did a program called Talking Country here at the center. DTC did, and I've had phone calls from all of my family that's over in DeKalb County and other counties. What are you doing on TV? You know, and I was like, like, well, you know.
Was it a mugshot?
It wasn't a mugshot or anything, but it is pretty amazing that, you know, the folks over in Wilson County, DeKalb County, White County, several of the different counties that get out and see DTC and see us. And, you know, this is something that I truly believe is a benefit from being a member of the Chamber of Commerce.
It is.
And being a member here in the community and being involved and kind of letting folks know what goes on.
Well, you know, DTC gives the same opportunity to DeKalb County, and I believe Carthage has this show also. And so they kind of realize, I've watched their shows before to see if we could, you know, steal some pointers from them or something. But anyway, I have watched it, and it is a good, there's not too many other chambers, even in big towns, that can say, as a member, you can come on TV and talk, you know,
Get the word
about
out.
whatever, you know, it is. There's not too many that, places where they offer this. But we had a good year, we really did. And we're looking forward to even a bigger one, and maybe some new things that will come about and help Cannon County to grow. And you know, the other thing is, I've always felt like you either grow or you wither and die. But on the other hand, I don't want that growth to be so fast and so big that we can't afford it. And a lot of times that does happen.
A lot of places, but
Because it adds
2014
to
will be a big
things.
year for us. I believe it really will. We've got a lot of things going on in the community. We'll be talking about a lot of those at our Chamber of Commerce meeting. The only other thing I know that is really coming up in January is the Lions Club will be doing their blood drive.
Right, on the 16th.
And so you want to give the gift of life. The Lions Club here in Cannon County does tremendous work in putting back into the community. I don't know of another Lions Club that you could go around town and see different things that were done by the Lions. I mean, you go to Dillon Park and you see that they did the track.
Playground, yeah.
You go up to Spurlock Park and they did the playground for children there. There's just so many things that they do right here in Cannon County.
I'm going to take a moment. Right before Christmas, I have a grandson that plays basketball, and they played in Maryville this year in a Christmas tournament up there, and I went up there for it. And I stayed in Pigeon Forge, and I had never gone to Gatlinburg and seen the Christmas lights. So this year I thought, okay, I'm up there anyway, you know.
Out on the town.
I'm going up there. I was amazed, but you know, and this is from being a part of the chamber, I'm sure. I'm looking at all these Christmas decorations. It was beautiful. And I'm thinking, okay, we have those same snowflakes on our poles going through town. They had added things to those snowflakes, but I'm thinking the Lions Club and the merchants bought those back in the 80s, I guess, maybe the 90s. And at that time, they were like close to $200 a piece. Mm-hmm. All right, I get those lighting catalogs all the time for Christmas lighting in your town. They had this big arch as you went into Gatlinburg, and I think it said, "Welcome to Gatlinburg, Merry Christmas," or something. And I'm thinking, in that magazine that I get, that catalog, that one right there is $10,000. And I'm thinking, okay, you're looking at thousands of poles here, and you're looking at least $700 to $800 per pole. Mm-hmm. And I thought that to me was just amazing. Now, had I not worked for the chamber, I wouldn't have thought what those cost. I wouldn't have even
But just
considered
know, and
that.
also know, and a tie back to your Lions Club, that, you know, that
Yeah.
they thought enough about their community that
Oh, they did.
to do that.
they've
I don't think
done-
people realize that sometimes.
No, and they've done a number of things over the years.
Yeah.
They really have.
So go out and support your Lions Club, become a member, because, you know, we all need members to our organizations, but they do have the Red Cross Blood Drive coming up on January 16th. Give the gift of life. Go down, and it's there from 10 to 6 that evening, and they have a fun time. Carl Ralston does a really wonderful job at putting that together and in the Lions Club. And if you haven't been by the Lions Club building here lately, it looks really nice. They've done a lot of work and outdoor work, and
I
at
think
Christmas it was beautiful.
It was. I just couldn't get over it. I just couldn't get over the outside of it and everything, because
Well, you do the
Bruce
job
Steelman just really got into it.
He got the Christmas bug, I believe. He got the Christmas bug. But again, 2013 was great. 2014 is going to be even better for us here at the Chamber. And I know DTC, we wish them and all of their employees and everything a great 2014. And to all of our viewers, we do have viewers.
We do.
We do have a few that watch us on
Yes,
a regular
we do.
basis. But to all of our 2014 folks, we wish you a very happy year. Make it the best that it possibly
Very
can be.
healthy, and check into it if you need to lose weight. The
We know some
program
people
is
to call.
here.
We know
We
some
do.
people to call.
We will see you next month in February and let you know what's happening then.
See ya.